So this is how I managed to grow my farm within 2 years from 500 chicken to 3,000. From 500 to 3,000, guys. This is how I managed to do it very fast in a short period of time. One, you have to be very calculative. By being very calculative, you have to know your sources of income. Can you manage this growth? And the most important thing is not first looking at making profits, but the most important thing is making sure you see growth at your farm. It is so key by seeing growth than making sure you're getting out the money. Me, I realized I couldn't go because I wanted 5,000 birds to begin with. For starters, I want to go up to 5,000 birds. Then I see how I expand. But before I reach 5,000 birds, I knew I had to start somewhere. I had to start small with something around 500 birds. So I had 500 birds. I brought them in July of 2023. Right now it's June 2025. But by July 2023, I brought in my first batch, and this is my first batch. I brought it in July 2023. So I had these birds. Up to now they're still nearby there, and they're still laying eggs. They've laid for 1.5 years. I'm looking at getting them off in around, let me see, probably in around December of 2025. Or before they reach there, because right now the production has reduced. But since the prices are still fine, I'm still keeping them for that. But I'm still looking at keeping them longer than I had anticipated at first. So with my first batch, I managed to grow from 500 to 3,000 chicken very fast. One, as calculative. I was still at my job, so I couldn't get the money I make from these birds for me to eat, for my consumption or any other thing, because I knew what I wanted. So all the money I used to make, and up to now still make from this chicken, I put them back in the farm. How? After bringing the 500 and then it grew very well, I didn't want to put myself in too much pressure to bring 1,000 or 2,000. So I went in for another 500. Why I went in for another 500 is because I knew if I have 500, they can be able to feed the other 500. Adding in a little money from my pocket, I wouldn't be very stressed out than going 1,000 in one go. So I brought in the first 500. Then after a small time, I brought in another 500. So this was my first batch. This entire column you see here. This was my first batch of 500 chicken. In fact, there are two columns this side because I use battery cages, A-type, like this. It's called the A-type. So this was my first 500 batch. After that, when things were going on well, they are laying eggs, I brought in another 500. You get? I brought in another 500. When this 500 also started being fine, laying eggs, that's when I knew now, since I have 1,000, I can be able to feed 1,000 chicks up to point of lay. That's very important. Don't rush into bringing in a lot of birds and then feeding becomes a problem, because birds don't want to know. If you have money, if you don't have money, if you're having problems at home, if you're sick, if you have a sick relative, I don't know, any other problem you might think of, for them it's none of their business. They have to eat. They have to be fed on time. So after bringing in my first 500, and it was okay, I brought in another 500. When the other 500 started laying, I'm talking about within less than 2 years. Because when the moment this one started laying, that was after 4 months, I brought in another one, immediately 500, I made 1,000 in my first year. So after making 1,000 in the first year, realized now 1,000 can lay, I brought in 1,000 in one go. Why did I bring in 1,000 in one go now? Because I know I had 1,000 that are laying. I can be able to feed 1,000. I might be short, but it won't be that short. Because things can get a little hectic during almost laying period, because then they are fully grown, they eat as much as the grown chicken, and then you haven't seen an egg because they're about to lay. That's when things can get hectic, but that can't run for more than a month before start getting eggs and start getting money out of them by the time things get hectic. So you have to be calculative, know your sources of income, know that if I do this and this, I'll manage. So from 1,000 my first year, 500 first, then I brought another 500, I reached 1,000 in the first year. From 1,000 birds, I made it a point to bring in another 1,000. So I was telling you guys, I decided to bring in another 1,000 batch. So this is my third batch. This is the third batch. It was the first two batches I was bringing in 500. So this time around I was like, now I have 1,000 batches, 1,000 birds that lay. Why don't I bring in 1,000 chicks? Because then I could manage. So I went and brought in these birds. They are 1,000, because this time around I decided to go in big because I could manage to feed them. Since I hasn't only looked at my sources, my job, because I still work at my job, I hasn't looked at my job to support me alone. I knew I have the other chicken to support me. And by the time things would get hard, I would have to go here and there from probably my workplace and all those things to manage to feed this other 1,000. So this is the other 1,000. So the most important thing for you to see growth very quickly, one, you have to calculate no sources of income. Two, don't be very quick. A lot of you are rushing very speed just because they have the money, they can afford to buy 2,000 chicks at one go, but they don't know that buying chicks is very simple, it's very cheap. The hardest part is feeding them, raising them to point of lace, the very, very hardest thing to do. So if you have birds that bring in money on a daily, since you also feed them on a daily, they have to eat every day. Regardless, they have to eat every day. So if you have birds that also give you eggs every day, that means you can support these other birds. So when I brought in this other batch, now I've reached 2,000 chicken. 2,000 chicken, that was in 2024. Yeah, 2024. I brought in this other batch. I don't remember the month. It was around June. I don't think before June, around there. 2024, I had this other batch. I brought it in, the other batch. So feeding it, raising it, I was partly helped by the first two batches I brought in 2023. So 2024, I could manage to feed these ones without a little, okay, with some hectic. You can be hectic here and there, looking for money here and there, but that comes in when they're about to lay. That's when things can become a bit hard. But before all that, things are always fine. You can manage, trust me. You can handle feeding them, you can handle raising them because you have support from the other chicken. So when this one started laying, of course I was doing some other projects here and there. I had to expand the farm, I had to build other chicken cools, I had to do other things because the farm was on a small piece of land. We had to buy another land to make sure we have complete expansion. But after that, we made sure I bring in another batch. The other batch of 1,000 chicken that drives me to 3,000 chicken in less than 2 years. Less than 2 years, because the first batch I brought it in July. Right now, as I'm making this video, it's June. I don't know by the time you will see it, it's June 2025. That means I brought in the first batch in July 2023. That means in less than 2 years, of course, it's still literally less than 2 years, I had reached 3,000 birds that quickly. Why? Because I was calculating. I wasn't excited. I wanted growth, but I know growth comes in slowly. You don't have to rush growth. Let it happen slowly. So this is the other 1,000 batch. These ones I brought them in one go. These ones, all of them. Unlike the other ones where I had 5,000 first, then I brought in the other 5,000 later. No, I brought in these ones in one go. 1,000. I fed them. They weren't that hectic. Good enough. It was a very good breed. They grew very well. And when they started laying, that's when I realized I have to add in another batch. So that's how I've managed to reach 3,000. I'm going to also show you the other final batch that enabled me right now to reach 3,000 where I am right now. But I know by the end of this year, I might be having 4,000. Yeah, by the end of this year, I must be having 4,000. That's the goal. End of this year, 4,000. So let me show you the others, because the others are still young. That makes 3,000. I'm not sure them 2 years soon. So, guys, these chicks, I don't think they're chicks anymore now, they are pullets. These are also 1,000 pullets. They are 2 months now, but still same thing. 3 years down the road, this is how you see growth. 3 years down the road, I haven't gotten out money to go for a trip, to get a better car, to build a bigger house, to do anything apart from reinvesting the money. Okay, let me say this side because I find I'm making a lot of noise if I try to go the other side. Apart from reinvesting the money, this is another 1,000 chicks. There are 1,000 pullets. So the money I get from eggs in the other 2,000, I use it to feed these ones. I had to buy cages again because I didn't buy many cages in one go. No, I buy cages when I reach there. I already bought them. In fact, I import my cages myself. I bought them long time. Also, I'm looking at just clearing their taxes because they're about to reach. And you can see right now at 2 months, they're remaining with 1 more month before they enter their cages. Get ready to give me exact 4 months. If God wishes. That's also if God wishes. I'll be giving me exact 4 months. So I managed to do that in a period of less than 2 years because I'm reinvesting the money I got from the other batches. Right now, one of these ones start laying, I have to lay off the other ones. That means I'll have to bring in another batch. But if this one starts laying, I'll be having 3,000 layers, including the other ones before I lay them off. And when I decide to lay the other ones off, still I won't eat that money. That's the money that will bring another batch to replace. And until I reach 5,000 bags, I think that's when I'll go on a trip. That's when I'll go on a trip, probably to the Maldives. But before that, still have to reinvest and reinvest up to 5,000 bags. Then I give myself a break. Then I say I go to 10,000 bags. But it's a process. You don't have to rush yourself. I know it. Like all those farms with 10,000, 100,000, those guys have been in business for over 10 years. So if I'm here with 2,000 bags in less than 2 years, that means I'm doing good. That means I'm applauding. Let me applaud myself before any of you guys applauds me. Let me applaud myself, and I continue doing what I do. I know I'll get there. To 10,000 bags in a few years, probably 10 years, or I don't know, 5 years. I don't know, it's God who knows better, but I'll keep on reinvesting my project. So that's all the other reason as to why I don't bring in a lot of bags. Guys, we talked about how to reduce risks on your farm. You don't have to put all your eggs in one basket. That's putting all your money in one batch. So bringing in bits in case one batch doesn't work out, the other batch will work out. In case one batch has problems, the other batch won't. In case one batch disturbs you, the other one won't. So guys, that is also very important. It helps in managing your risk, splitting your risk. Also, growth takes time. It's gradual. You have to take it one at a time. Slowly by slowly, we shall all get there. No need to rush. You're not competing with anyone. You want to be better than the previous year. I want the Jesse Farms of this year is competing with the Jesse Farms of next year. Sorry, of the previous year. So the Jesse Farms of the previous year had 1,000 bags. The Jesse Farm of this year has 2,000 bags. So the Jesse Farms of next year will have 5,000 bags, just like that. So you're competing with yourself, trying to be better than how you were the previous year. You're not competing with any other farms. You don't know their story. You don't know their hustle. You don't know the things they've done to get there they are. So just try to be better than you all the time. Just try to be better than how you did all the time. Just try to grow slowly. You don't have to expand these lands because now they are very full. They can't fit in here. You can see how full they see. So I'm going to expand. I'm going to remove this one. I put husks down. I expand their chicken house because they are growing. In 3 months, 1 more month to go, they will be in cages. And I'll still show you guys. If I'm not sure you subscribe so that you see also their journey as you start giving me monster eggs as well. And then you see me bringing in another batch. I have to lay off the other ones. It's a cycle, it's a process. But first we're seeing growth before start experiencing the real success. Before we give ourselves those trips, the bigger houses, the mansions, the bigger cars, stop striving for the smaller cars, guys. So thanks for watching. This is Jesse Farms. Subscribe, like, follow, share to a friend. Main reason as why we do this is to inspire some people who might be fearing to start. You can even start with 100. Now it's fortunate, and I'm very grateful for that. I started with 5,000, sorry, 500, but you can start with 100 and still get that. Well, with 500, my story can be different from yours, but you can start with 100, and then the goal. Make sure the goal is achievable. Don't set yourself a very, very high goal that you can't achieve that will make you lose hope. I know some people say you aim for the moon and land on the star. Fine, that can work, but some of us we do things differently. Set a simple goal for yourself that is achievable. Once you get there, then set another goal. Once you get there, set another goal. Just don't settle for less. That's very important. So, thanks for watching, guys. Jesse Farms. Subscribe, like, follow, share to your friend. Bye bye.